Hey, what is going on, bros? My bro here, and this is a little spur of the moment idea video. Mainly because I was originally back in the whole tier list craze. I was gonna make a tier list for zombies, but I never ended up doing it because my editing software wouldn't let me download the huge file that it ended up being. Because I separated the videos into different tiers. I recorded each one in one take, and then I would edit it all together. Knock my laptop. But that ended up not working. So this video is gonna be done in one big long continuous take. Hopefully it turns out well. This tier list in particular has 74 maps as of October 1st of this year. It does include Extinction, AW, IW in World War II. It does not include the Tortured Path, Outbreak from Cold War, the Turned maps, and any Dead Ops. It does include every remake, however, so that I do not know where I can see who made this tier list. Angel OCD or Zero CD, whatever, is a pretty big fucking list. There is, just count it right now. There is 8 different levels to this tier list. I'm just gonna be going in order from the maps at the top and moving down. Haven't played, obviously, it's just anything. The worst maps in COD, these are the bottom of the barrel. Bad, pretty much that, I don't know. I feel like there should be something in between here, because I did add something up here. Could be better, mediocre, good, not near perfect, and perfect. Perfect is going to be how I had it when I made my original one, which perfect is going to be what I consider the top 10 right there. My perfect maps, in my opinion. Those aren't going to have a set order. Obviously, there will be favoritisms for the things. I'm rating these based off of how I like them, so if there's something here that you guys don't agree with, go right ahead and say it. I don't care. These are my opinion, and I know something in the top 10 is always going to piss people off. But anyway, let's move on. So, let's begin with Moon, Black Ops 1 in particular. I'm going to call this mediocre. I've never been the biggest Moon fan. I don't like how it works in the Black Ops 1 engine, especially the wave gun, and they did not fix the issue. I think it was very ambitious for the time, and I appreciate it for what it was for the time. But going and looking back at it now, it's just not. It's not it. I'm not a fan of the Black Ops 3 remaster either, but I honestly think the Black Ops 1 version gets those nostalgia points, and that's it. I'm not a fan of it. Oct.2022. Now the next 3 all can basically go together, which is the Black Ops 1 Oct and the Black Ops 1 Verrückt. I will put both in could be better for 2 separate reasons. I think for Black Ops 1 Oct, they could have added so much more with perks and stuff. I think that would have been a real cool idea to add the other perks in some place, kind of like how they added Mule Kick, which is actually the only perk they added. But it's kind of useless in anything that is not co-op when you guys are running a intense strategy. The Black Ops 1 version of Verrückt is kind of the opposite of that, as it has all the perks. I think it would have been better with a different wonder weapon. The Winter's Howl definitely drags this map out into, drags this map down into kind of not where it wants to be. The Winter's Howl is notoriously one of the worst wonder weapons of all time, and I think that the original version of both these maps both have a special charm to them that is not repeated or not expanded upon in the Black Ops 1 version. Hell, I think it's even dulled because of the less creepy nature of Black Ops 1. Black Ops 1 Shinonuma is not there, but is worse. I think that the Black Ops 1 version of Shinonuma doesn't really hit where Shinonuma should hit. It doesn't give off half a creepy as vibe. Also, removing the 24 zombies per round definitely, though it was a glitch, I think kind of killed the fun of this map. It became way less replayable. But honestly, it's not the worst version of Shinonuma. Well, actually, it is the worst version of Shinonuma. I phrased that wrong. But yeah, so I think apart from that, the map is fine, but I just think it killed so much of the fun. I don't have a fun time playing it. Black Ops 1 Derice, on the other hand, I actually will consider good. Uh, I think the Black Ops 1 version did a lot. It did basically what the other maps didn't, where they all had a certain charm to them that wasn't quite repeated. I think it was actually expanded upon in Derice Black Ops 1. Working Quick Revive for 1 definitely helped a lot, and a working Wonder Waff made strategies easier. And because this was the only map that didn't have a 24 round zombie cap, it actually made this map easier when transitioning to Black Ops 1, which had an easier engine. I think a lot of this map works as a Black Ops 1 map, and so I think that it deserves to be in good. I'd put it even in near perfect. I might change it later. Okay, transit. I'm actually gonna put this in bad. If there was a tier in between it, between worst map and bad, I'd probably put it there. But I think transit gets a lot of flack. It kind of falls to where Moon is for me, which it was very ambitious for the time, and looking back now, it failed terribly. Even back then, it was a massive bust. I feel like, though, the nostalgia points hits harder here because this was a launch map and not a DLC map. I like what they tried to do with it, but I feel like the failure that it is cannot be ignored. A bunch of my friends preach by this map, and I don't understand where they, were dropped on their head as a kid. Bus Depot, however, will go in the worst maps of COD. So will Farm. I think both of them are terrible. Farm is a little less worse than Bus Depot, but Bus Depot was still hot ass, and so is Farm. Farm is the map that has the least amount of lava out of any of the transit maps, but where the lava is on the map, it's still real fucking annoying to deal with. So yeah, it also doesn't have a pack punch, but it does have a perks. It does have a perks. God, it does have perks, so that's the way it's better than Bus Depot. Bus Depot has no perks at all. So good luck. It stands as the only map that I've yet to get 30 on, not counting the Archon. I'll get to the Archon later. But yeah, I hate Bus Depot. Not a biggest fan of Farm. Town, on the other hand, I'm gonna actually put in mediocre. Could put it in could be better, but I'm gonna put it in mediocre just because I think the survival aspect was mastered here compared to the other transit maps. You have a pack punch. You have more perks. You have a few really cool things. I feel like, though, it could be expanded upon. Like, you could have added something in the safe. That was such a big feature of it. Or you could have even expanded the town backwards towards past the church area where the second mystery box and double tap is. I feel like you could have pushed it back a little farther. Also remove the lava. That's why I'm putting in mediocre. I could put it in good, but I just don't think it's there. Nuketown, I'm actually going to put in bad. This is another one that I feel like could also go up to could be better, but I'm going to put it in bad for now. The perk system is what kills this map. The perk system and the layout of this map definitely kill it, because the layout is not meant for zombies. The layout is meant for, actual multiplayer matches. So adding it to zombies, they had to change so much that kind of killed the fun of it. One of the only few things that was added that was kind of part of the original was that little barricade in front of the curved house, in front of the red truck. That was actually there in Search and Destroy and other game modes like that. So that was the only feature that I think a lot of people thought was added, but no, it was kind of there from the get-go. But I feel like, as I said, the perk system is what kills this map for me. Because I don't want to be sitting there guessing for Jug, and half the time I don't like playing with sound, so sometimes I don't even know if a perk drops, and I'll just run to an area, and I'm like, oh, there's a perk right there. Okay, cool. I could have needed that 5 minutes ago. So, yeah. World at War knocked. I'm gonna put this in could be better. It could be better. I feel like if it had a better wonder weapon, or slightly better training spot, because I feel like the training spot in the mystery box room is so RNG. I know there's a different strategy now. I believe it's training and spawn, which is a little harder. or like doing a three-way training spawn. It's confusing, but I feel like if it did just have a little more breathing room, like the multiplayer and campaign versions of the map, it could have been better. I get it. It's supposed to be tiny survival and it was built out a lot. But what was very interesting is that despite it being built off of those versions, they did remove a few things from those versions. That's something I just thought was interesting. Die Rise. Okay. I'm actually gonna put this in the West. Yeah, no, Die Rise sucks. This map, despite me going back and having fun on it every once in a while, it's so hard to ignore the flop that this map was. It had skyscrapers. It had skyscrapers that could have done so much with it, but because of the limitations, they really couldn't. The elevators, it is such a... Everywhere that is not the rooftop with the dragon looks disgusting. It's just gray, which is a lot of Black Ops 2, so... But it's gray with no flavor. It's not even like a light gray or a dark gray, it's just gray. That's like the bottom of the barrel, basically. I do think the Flinger was a nice introduction. I do think that the Liquefier is up there with some of the best wonder weapons, and the SVU as a wall buy is so helpful on this map. But apart from that, I don't like this map. Easter eggs, terrible. The jumping jacks are some of the most annoying bosses because of how inconsistent they can be if a knife swing counts or not. Who's Who, despite it being one of the 4 perk bottles I own, I hate on the actual Black Ops 2 engine. I think it works so much better on different engines, but Black Ops 2's engine in particular kind of sucks. So, yeah, that's Die Rise. Mob of the Dead, however, is going to be the first one in what I consider the top 10, or the best, the perfects. Black Ops 2 Mob of the Dead is fan-fucking-tastic. It's got one of the best wonder weapons. It did remove PhD and Mule Kick, which could have been really good on this map, because I think the weapon variety on this map is one of the best, if not the best, in all of Black Ops, in all of Zombies history. You have exclusive weapons like the Death Machine, actual pickup Death Machine, the AK-47, which is the only time that's appeared in a Zombies map, I believe, not counting any Cold War, and the Uzi being all exclusive to the map. I think the Uzi is one of the most badass things ever. The Blender Gat, Acid Gat is fantastic, and I think the Hell's Redeemer is probably one of the best tactical secondaries that we've ever gotten. The characters and story of this map is also fantastic, which I haven't really touched on characters and stories, but that's also because, like, most of the maps I've gone through so far doesn't have the best characters or story. Die Rise, Transit. But I think that the characters of the story really drag it to near perfect. May the legend rest in peace. I know he died recently. I forget his name, and I feel really bad, because I don't think it's Ray Liotta. It was Ray Liotta, I think. May he rest in peace. But I like the entire cast of this. Buried. Now, this one might be really confusing to people. I'm actually going to put Buried in near perfect. I feel like the flaw of this map, really, it just comes down to the characters and the story of it. I think remove the transit crew and throw somebody else in there. I feel like Buried could be one of those top contenders for top 10. I personally really find it fun. I do love all the moving pieces of this map. Like the giant, you have to use the giant so much on this map. You have to find all these small little things, and the detail that was put into the map. Not only that, but it also has one of my favorite perks of all time, and Vulture's Aid, which I probably need to get a perk bottle of Vulture's Aid soon. I don't know. It's fantastic in my opinion. It's not top 10. Like I said, I think the characters really drag it down. Easter eggs not very fun, and the witches can get quite annoying sometimes if you're not expecting them. But apart from that, I think this map is really nice, and I do like a challenge every once in a while. But this is a nice, fun map that I could just throw on, kick back, grab a Coke, and just sit. So I like it for that. Black Ops 2 Origins, yeah, it was pretty obvious. Black Ops 2 Origins also gone in the top 10. I think that the mud was handled perfectly here. The weapons, the story, the absolute design. Like, you look at this map and you think back to Transit, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, Transit's so ambitious. It's so big. It's humongous." And then you look at a map like Origins, which in technicality is smaller than Transit, but it feels like such a wider scale. It feels like it's such a has a bigger setting. I think the World War One is such a nice change than the World War Two settings that we've been accustomed to at that point from Black Ops One and World at War. So I really like it. Uh, I just everybody said so much good stuff about Origins. Really, I just sound like a broken record at that point. Alright, now, here comes the stuff we start going to haven't played. The only one I have played, actually, is Point of Contact, which, if like, similar to Transit, if there was a slot between bad and worst map, I'd probably put Point of Contact there. Mainly just because I'm a sucker for the Ghost engine. I kind of really like the Ghost engine. Apart from that, never really followed the story of it. I feel like it's an interesting concept, but I've never really wanted to play much Extinction, mainly just because it's not round-based and it's objective-based, so you can't really have infinite. Speaking of that, the rest of this I haven't played. I haven't played Nightfall, Mayday, Awakening, and Exodus. So, but all of those I go in and haven't played. Not touched them in my life. While we're here, we can also throw Carrier and Ascent from Advance, because they are next in line. Just because rapid fire them off. It sucks I haven't played them because I've heard such good things about, in particular, Descent. I've heard it's really good, which compares to the first two maps, which, controversial opinion coming up, Outbreak. Going all the way out there to Near Perfect, baby. I love that map. I, in particular, like the PS3 Xbox 360 version better than the PS4 Xbox One version, just because I feel like the graphical change is not warrant enough, and it kind of feels off. So that's the version I play as, the last gen version. But on the last gen version, it's actually pretty solid, in my opinion. I really like it. I think the weapons are up there with some of my favorites. The Cell shotgun in particular is fantastic. The pack punch system is a bit whack, but that's something I really can't knock against the map. The characters are some of my favorite. Bill Paxton and, I forget his name, but Oz. He's fantastic. The girl in the military dude are kind of bland, but I like the other two a lot. I like the individual power system with a main power grid. I think that's a fun concept. And the exosuits, I actually think is the best advanced movement system that we got between Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, and Advanced Warfare. I think actually Advanced Warfare is advanced movement the best. And because it's right here, we'll just finish it off. Infection, yeah, no real explanation for that. It's one of the worst maps of all time, if not the worst map. Oh, actually, no. I'll get to that later. But yeah, no. Infection, bottom. No need to explain it. Everybody knows why Infection is bad. World at War Verrückt. Okay, I think I said this, but I think that the World at War Verrückt version is on par, if not slightly better, than the Black Ops 1 version. The explanation is the 24 zombie round cap works so much better on this map. It is a riot to try and get to high rounds on it because it gets so intense. Because there's not really a good training spot for this map, this one requires a lot more skill and strategy, and I think it works a lot better. The creepy factor on this map is really fucking up there, and I think it works so much better. The innovations for the time really did work well, but I'm not really trying to rank it off the owl too much, unlike my last tier list. But if I was ranking it solely based on innovations, it'd probably go near perfect. It had so much in Modern Zombies. But looking at the map as a whole, the creepy factor really is what draws this map in. Maybe add a wonder weapon, and then it would go from being it could be better to maybe even good. Alright, Black Ops 3 now. Ooh, Black Ops 3 now. Alright, let's get this going. Shadows of Evil. My friends hate Shadows. A lot of my friends hate Shadows. I love Shadows. I think it's top 10 map. It's got one of the best winter weapons of all time. It's got one of my favorite cast of all time. The story of the map is really fun, and I'm a sucker for the old 1930s, Prohibition era stuff. That's why I like Mob of the Dead so much as well. But I like being actually in the city. This cast is top 10, top 3 casts in any Call of Duty map. Floyd is the take-leave character, but Jessica Rose, Nero Blacksmith, and Jackie fucking Veet cannot be beat. And the Shadow Man himself is fantastic. The Easter egg is the only thing that I would knock against it and not put in the top 5. Because sadly, it needs to be 4 players to finish, so I haven't finished it. It's the only Black Ops 3 one I haven't finished, so I haven't been able to do Revelations. But I think that the weapons, the style of the map, everything about this map is fantastic, and I think it's probably in the perfects. The Giant is the best version of Darius. It's still only gonna go in good though, because I don't think it's. I'll move it up to near perfect. This is because I don't know. I like the snow aesthetic of this map. I like the whole feel of where this technically takes place in the events that we see, or the events that we hear in the original version of Darius. It feels so different. It feels like you got teleported to a completely alternate time, like you kind of did. But you see the events happen, and then you go and you're like, oh, it's going to be the same. But it feels so different. Mainly because of the engine, but also because of just how the aesthetic of the maps change. I do love the moving perks on this map. They're not annoying like on a map like Die Rise or Nuketown, but I feel like they work on this with the whole time shift stuff. Nothing is set in stone of where it's going to be. Every time you play, they might be in a different location. So I like that. I feel like everything was handled brilliantly on this map. It does get pretty rough on the higher rounds, to be honest. But apart from that, I think this map is near perfect. It's up there really well. Der Eisen. Is there anything else I really need to say about Der Eisen? It's near perfect. The bows, fantastic. The story, the setting of the map feels so grand. The Easter egg in this map is probably one of my favorites. Probably the Easter egg I've done the most. We stand the fire bow so bad, boy. But yeah, all around, I think this map is fantastic. It deserves all the praise it gets, especially coming off the heat that was Black Ops, the heat that was Shadows of Evil. I feel like the back-to-back heat, we really needed it. Zetstabo. Okay, Zetstabo is where we get it. I'm gonna put it in good. It was shit on at launch, and it still kind of gets shit on. But go back to it, and I really like it. I feel like the jungle kind of vibe is something you wouldn't expect, especially from a map that's supposed to take place in Japan. You wouldn't really think a whole vibe like this. And I feel like it's one of the only... It's only the only maps post-World at War that really kind of encompasses a creepy feeling, like a dystopian feeling, like the original World at War maps. If you're playing this map by yourself, you're gonna get creeped out by something like the Thrasher, or the spiders, or shit like that. It's just got one of those vibes that is unmatched, in my opinion. There was the bugs, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Easter egg, and hell, even just getting the Wonder Weapon fully done, that usually takes me to about 20 if I'm lucky. So that's kind of why it doesn't go near perfect. But for vibe alone, this map is probably my favorite, solely based on vibe map. God Crovey. Alright. End of discussion. Gorod Crovey, I think I've actually rated Gorod Crovey as my number 1. It's flopped between Gorod and Mob, being the top map. Currently, it is Gorod just because it's the one I've played the most recently. But there is some glaring problems that kind of keep it from being even top 3 sometimes. I think the main one is the Wonder Weapon kind of sucks. But the Easter egg, it's a fucking blast to do, even with friends. I did it with my friends recently. We had such a fun time doing it. Like a genuine fun time doing it. It's a nice, simple. The boss fight is probably the best boss fight in all of Zombies, in my opinion, minus maybe Mephistopheles, but I haven't played Mephistopheles, sadly. So, it is the best one I've played. I just feel like having Nikolai as probably the centerpiece of one of the most riveting maps really cemented him as a top tier character. May I also add, fucking the vibe of this map is on par, if not just slightly worse than Zetstabos, but a battle-torn Stalingrad with fucking dragons. Nobody can top that. Nothing can top that, really. Revelations. Okay. Mediocre. One reason. Unoriginal. I praise originality sometimes, and I don't praise it other times, but this map is so unoriginal, it's not fun. There was no new weapon that could actually take you to high rounds. The only exception, I think, is the Rifty 9, but I use that on my strategy. I know a lot of people don't actually use the Rifty 9. The best feature of this map was the masks, in my opinion. But, yeah, no. I think you threw a couple more new areas. You didn't just throw in the inside of the worm and the spawn room as the new locations. You remixed the other locations up so it didn't feel so stereotypical. Like, the areas that they remastered fully, almost all of them were part of Chronicles, so they had those assets already. The only exception is Mob, I believe, but Kino, Origins, Shang, all of them were gonna get remastered, so they just had those assets waiting. But like I said, throw in a couple more original locations and make the Easter egg better. Maybe throw in a second ending, like a lot of people theorized, and I think you got yourself a top tier map. We're gonna get to the Chronicles ones. I'm not gonna really have a justification for a lot of the Chronicles maps. I'm gonna more rapid fire them because they're almost all the same exact reason. Either A, they're better than the original because of the graphical upgrade and the weapon upgrade, or they're worse than the original because they didn't innovate anything, in my opinion. So, I'm just gonna say better or worse than the original. Chronicles Noct, better than the original, it will go in mediocre. Chronicles Verrückt is actually on par with the rest of the Rooks, in my opinion. Verrückt is such a middle tier map. Could be better, could be worse. I might even throw it in mediocre, actually. Chronicles Shino, it's the worst version of Shino. It's bad. It sucks. It's so bad. Kino is such a mediocre map in the Black Ops 3 version, doesn't really do anything to help it. Ascension, near perfect. I will explain that with regular Ascension when I get to it. Shangri-La is a good map. I think it's actually better than the original in certain areas, but it's also worse than other areas, so they're probably going to go right next to each other. Black Ops 3 Moon, I already explained this. I'm not a fan of both moons, so this is actually going to go also in mediocre. And finally, Origins, it could be better. I'm throwing it all the way down here. I hate the Zombies Chronicle version of Origins because of the riveting masterpiece that was Origins. Remastering that, even though it is on a better engine, it feels worse to play. Alright, I just want to get the rapid fire because Chronicle is probably going to take me the longest to get through. Which is not the same exact thing for it. Next one is, even though, let me actually get World at War Shino. I'm actually going to put World at War Shino up to mediocre, which is really high compared to the other two, but I know something's going to get me flamed really soon. I think that just the whole feel of the map, and I'm a big vibe guy. I'm realizing that as I'm making this. I'm a big vibe guy. The vibe of this map is fantastic on the World at War version. The other versions do not encapsulate that enough Also, the story finally began on this map. Yes, it technically does begin at Noct, but I feel like everybody really got into the story, or realized it was a story in Shino, with the introduction of the main characters. The one weapon and the vlogger, it's fantastic. So, it's good in mediocre. I couldn't even throw it in good. I think it's that. I think it is top tier. Alright, Infinite Warfare. Let's quickly do another rapid fire round. I have not played any. I repeat, any. Oh shit. Any of these. And because they're also right here, the Tortured Path, the Shadowed Throne, and the... No, I have played the Tortured Path. Okay, hold on. The Frozen Dawn, the Shadow Throne. I have not played any of those. I have played these three, though, so... get to them. And is there any more I haven't played? No. Okay, so that's all the maps I haven't played, which is actually way less than I thought. But I do think something changed. I think I had not played, Tortured Path at that moment. Last time I made the tier list. But anyway, Spaceland is near perfect. It is a top 10 competitor, honestly. I think that the strength of this map is, again, what I think a lot of people praise, is the whole aesthetic of the map. At this theme park, it's fantastic, and I don't think the rest of Infinite Warfare really reached that stardom. It was a very interesting map. It was very complex, and hell, it's one of the only maps that you can actually play an arcade game in. The only other map I can think of is Forsaken in Cold War, and they didn't even do it half as good. I feel like taking away so much and not making it all about zombies, but making it about actually feeling like you're at a theme park, at a zombie apocalypse, and using all those theme park tools and contraptions to your advantage is real fun. I do love the concept of Infinite Warfare, where they're in movies kind of hopping through. So yeah, near perfect in my opinion. Alright, well, we'll do race. I mean, yeah, no, it's going up to good. Nostalgia is not going to put me to make this near perfect, okay? Even though I really want to. It's good. It innovated so much. Pack-a-punch, Bowie knife, monkey bombs, story. The story on this map, fantastic. Darius is probably the most coveted map when it comes to story. Maybe Origins rivals it, but I think Darius is what everyone thinks when they think, where would you say the Call of Duty story A began, and where is the main setting of the story? Darius has to be up there because of just how many radios come back to Darius. The Darius facility is fantastic for that. So, it's good. If I was ranking this solely based on story, it'd probably be number 1, no doubt. But because I'm taking everything into consideration, it's gonna stand good. Alright, these maps is where I'm gonna get some weird placements. Ghost in the House could be better. Make it a little bit bigger. Help, maybe use the outside of the map. I get it. It's called Ghost in House. So you can't really go outside the house. But like I said, maybe use the outside, because it is another one of those maps where it's built off a multiplayer map. In the multiplayer map, you can actually go outside. Maybe take advantage of that. Tortured Path. Bad. It's not good. It's just not good. It's small. Not a fan of it. Yeah, no. I didn't say it wasn't gonna put any. Oh. Included. So wait, is Outbreak here? Oh, it is. No, I read that wrong. Anyway. Torture Path. Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. Flop it. I put Torture Path. Shadow Throne is the correct name of the map. That tells you how little I've actually played that map. I think I did it once. I played the map maybe... not once. I did the Easter egg once. I know it took one try to do the Easter egg with my friends. I think I've played the map 3 times. So, it's not good. I don't like it. The Final Reich. Actually, I think it's near perfect. The whole everything of the map is fantastic. I think it's the only one of those scary maps. The whole thing with World War II is that it was scary. It was very scary. But I think it's the only one that you can actually get terrified on because just some of it's unexpected, especially if you're playing late night. You're not going to be expecting half the shit to appear. I think stuff like the Brenner, the Mutulas, right? No, not the Mutulas. The big old fucking dude chainsaw. Those can be terrifying sometimes. I think the setup on the map and the notebook is what really makes this map better. I feel like the notebook is the best on this map. Tesla gun is such a weak wonder weapon. I know you can get upgrades for it, but it's like also the upgrades like feel really stupid, so I don't want to do them half the time. I think the boss fight is one of the fucking coolest non-Treyarch boss fights out there. Yes, it is just simple trial and error, but I think the whole taking out the Zeppelin thing and the ending cutscene is awesome. So yeah, I think Final Reich is near perfect. Like it sure, no explanation. Yeah, I can go on West Map full time. Bye-bye. No explanation needed for that. I can just go. Alright. Alright. Flak incoming. I'm ready. I'm like preparing myself. Putting on my vest. Voyage of Despair is a mediocre map. I like Voyage a lot, but my sucker for history and shit cannot cloud my vision of what is wrong with this map. But I'm still putting in mediocre. I feel like the Kraken is one of the most underrated wonder weapons of all time. The bosses are not as bad as they could be. Yes, the Catalyst Zombies suck, but they are one of the this is one of the few maps where the Catalyst Zombies can actually be used for something with getting the upgrades for the Kraken and different elemental upgrades, which I think the Elements versions were handled best on a map like this, where you could trade it out without having to do a big old upgrade quest. You find 4 parts, you upgrade the weapon Kraken itself, and then you could just swap it out whenever you want. If you're feeling not like you want to use the poison, use the lightning. If you don't want to use the ice, use the fire. You could swap it out, just kill a Catalyst Zombie. So I feel like the Catalyst Zombies were actually used on this map. Moving Pack-a-Punch, nobody's real big fan of it, but I don't know. It was handled alright on this map. The layout of this map is the biggest problem. So much of it is blocked off that it doesn't feel as grand as it should. Obviously, the Titanic was huge in real life, but this thing feels like a small fucking yacht. Like, it doesn't feel like the grandiose Titanic, which really sucks. If they didn't make this map take place on the Titanic, and this was just zombies on boat, I think it'd actually be top tier. You'd probably want to be my best, but having to live up to the expectations of being the Titanic really dragged this map down. Also, the characters suck. Everybody but Diego sucks. So, I mean, Bruno's alright. 9. Always. Yeah, 9. Top tier. Mwah. 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 The ancient Roman setting, the Colosseum vibes, the actual opening Pack-a-Punch process being one of the best, and the side parts of the actual Pack-a-Punch area, you could really take or leave those, but the Brazen Bull is one of my favorite shields of all time, and you have to go build it in that area, so you're going to be seeing that area a lot. The Colosseum area is such a cool vibe. The Wonder Weapon, the Scarlet Kiss, could be better, maybe. Didn't have such a slow kill time on those higher rounds, but I think that it's pretty fantastic. It is well deserved of all the praise it gets. Black Ops 1 Kino. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I'll put it to mediocre. The nostalgia glasses have to be taken off. This was my first ever Zombies map. It was a lot of people's first ever Zombies maps. Doesn't mean it was the best. I feel like it being put on the Black Ops 1 engine was kind of what killed it. It definitely feels like a World at War map. Everything about this map feels like a World at War map. From the Pack-a-Punch to the teleporters to the weapons on the fucking wall. Dude, the MP40 is on the goddamn wall. It is one of the only maps where the MP40 is on the wall. I think the only other maps are the 4 remasters. Well, the 3 remasters because it's not on Oct. Literally, it is a World at War map in a Black Ops 1 skin. Saying that, though, it is still a really fun time. That's why I'm not going to put it in Could Be Better. But, I don't know. Kino, yeah. Blood of the Dead. Do we really need to say anything? When Mob of the Dead is fighting for the top, Blood of the Dead is fighting for being my least favorite map. I feel like it did improve in some areas, but it didn't improve enough. It could have improved a lot more. Classified. There's are that could be better. I just feel like it was so close to being a 5 reskin. It was so close to being a straight up remaster, okay, of 5. The only parts they changed, some areas on the bottom, some areas on the top. They added the whole back room area from Spawn, and they made Pack-a-Punch in Area 51 for some reason, which I'm not the biggest fan of. It felt very shoehorned to put Area 51 in the map. But this map will hold something close to me, as it is the only map to this day I have gotten around 100 on. So it's going to hold a special spot in my heart for a very long time. But that's not going to make me ignore the fact that this map is still just meh. Alright. Well, let me stretch real fast, guys. Dead of the Night. I'm sorry. But Dead of the Night. I preach this map. I am a sucker for vampires. I am a sucker for old mansions. I'm a sucker for murder mystery type vibes. I love the Alistair's Folly. I love the setup process. I love these quests that you have to go on to unlock everything. I really love the whole vibe of the pick up and go. Pick up and this is important, this is important, this is important. You need everything. Nothing is left behind on this map to get your final goal of getting everything and being set up. Nothing is left behind. There is no side thing that you do that does not impact what the game is later. Even down to the crossbow, which I don't do the crossbow. I do it like twice. I've done it like twice. Even the crossbow is great for taking out the Nosferatus. Same with the stake. Everything on this map is important. And the vibe of this map and the absolute aesthetic of this map is unrivaled. Take this thing off the Black Ops 4 engine, put it on the Black Ops 3 engine, and it will be the best map of all time in my opinion. End of discussion. Thank you. Also, we love Godfrey. Alright. Moving on after my preach. Ancient Evil is another one that a lot of people consider in the top 10. I'm just going to put it in near perfect. I do not like once you get to the higher rounds what strategies you have to pull. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I just find it. I will admit the Apollo's will, and I love the hands. Hands had more ammo, and you didn't have to use stuff like elixirs. I think this map would be fantastic. But because it is one of those maps, and I know there's a couple maps like that in Black Ops 3 Revelations, where you basically have to use a Gobblegum or an elixir to get to a high round. That's a problem, because then that brings RNG to, is my luck good enough on the rolls outside of the game to get it? That becomes a problem. But I think Ancient Evil has probably one of my favorites when it comes to the 4-set Wonder Weapon. Not including the Kraken, but I mean like 4 individual quests. The Hand of Charon quest is fucking fantastic. Alpha Omega! Anyway, this map was not fun. Getting to round 50 was not fun. Getting set up is not fun. Nothing about this is fun. The boss zombies, not fun. If the original Nuketown was bad, this version is worse. This is the only, sadly, it is the only Easter egg I have actually done on Black Ops 4, which I don't know why I did it, mainly just because I was young, dumb, and stupid. It did take me only an hour and 16, which is better than my brother when he had 3 people helping him. But, I digress. Also, Raygun Mark II and 4 Raygun variants, I think I've picked up each variant once. Yeah, no, it's bad force. Alright, I almost said Kino Tone. Tog the Tone could be so much better. Call of the Dead, one of the most coveted maps of all time, but it could be better. Transit Crew, fun that they came back, really fun. Why on this map? Bringing back Pablo was really fun. I think the story of the map really impacts it, and I do love the whole different aesthetic where it looks gorgeous. The map looks gorgeous. You look at the original Call of the Dead, and you could tell it's a dark, twisted, almost nighttime vibe. It's a frozen tundra, but then it almost feels like you're in the summer or spring, and everything's melting and everything's coming back to life. It feels truly like a different experience. Now, sadly, I've never done the Easter egg because I have a fear of like planets colliding and shit. But even the Mars Easter egg, it feels so grandiose and so big and bold, is how I can describe this map. But that being said, the Wonder Weapons suck. The Tundra Gun and the Wonder Waffle DG-13 sucks. And then the Thunder Gun returning is just lazy. Also, the power setup is bad in my opinion. Golden Pack-a-Punch is fun and really fixes an issue with Black Ops 4, which was the Pack-a-Punch system. But, yeah, give or take. Okay. Finally down to, I think I'm going to first hit Vanguard. I'm going to get back to Cold War, and I'm going to also hit the remaining Black Ops 1. I don't know why people do this. Every tier list I see, people take the Black Ops 1 maps and they get scattered out everywhere. They get sequentially put throughout the tier list. It's weird. So let me first get Vanguard. Alright, anyway, Debt on Fog. Not Shinonuma. Terra Maledicta. And the Archon. All of them suck. Really. Like, genuinely. They all suck. This engine was not made to run zombies. It really is not. Debt on Fog and Terra Maledicta obviously being the 2 objective-based, and the Archon being a round-based. The Archon is literally Terra Maledicta and round-based, in my opinion. It really is. I don't like it whatsoever. It is so bad. I've played it 5 times. 5 times. Terra Maledicta and Debt on Fog, I've played maybe 10 each. I hate them all. I hate it all. The perk system's not good. The Pack-a-Punch, not a fan of it. Feels real too expensive, especially with the fix. The fixed point system in this game works so much worse than the fixed point system in Cold War, and I do not know why, because they are the exact same. But they spike the price on everything. I don't even think there's a Wonder... there might be a Wonder Weapon in Archon. I haven't played the Archon enough to know that. Terra Maledicta and Debt on Fog, on the other hand, do not have Wonder Weapons, are trash maps. The objective base is not fun. None of it is fun. But there's one exception, in my opinion, and that's Shinonuma. But saying that, it still could be better. It is not the best version of Shinonuma. The original is better. But I do think it is actually better than Chronicles and in the Black Ops 1 remake. I love the slight changes they made to the map. I know when I recorded audio and video of me getting to round 50, I was shitting on this map. But I've played it some more since then, and it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Yes, is it lazy? Absolutely. It's the only good part of Vanguard, and it's a remake. If that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what will. But I do like it. The only thing that I could probably take away is take away the two mini bosses, the big old machine guy and the electric girl, because they can get quite annoying on those higher rounds. But apart from that, I think it's pretty good. Alright. Moving down. Got the Black Ops 1 maps. Let's finish these off. 5 is good. I think 5 is good. I think 5 is good. It is top tier. It is fantastic. Everything is just gone real well with this map. It is aged so well with time, and I think its cast is also really fun. Ascension. Let's see how many spots are left. 6. And I already know what's gonna be basically my top 10. So let's just get the top 10 done with Black Ops 1. Call of the Dead. Not one of the worst maps. Not even just mediocre. Or what did it end up? That is not perfect. It is perfect. I think the map is fantastic. The whole vibe of it is a hard map. It is a challenging map. It is one of the best challenging maps ever. The cast is fantastic between Danny Trejo, Michael Rooker, Robert Englund, and all of the everything that was this map. It's just everything's been said about this map that's good. Everything. So let's finish Shang and Ascension. Ascension, I think I already said. Ascension, near perfect. I love this map. I think between the Black Ops 3 and the Black Ops 1 version, there's not a real winner. I mean, technically, the Black Ops 3 version is better because you get double tap and you get dead shot. So you're guaranteed 5 perks if you can keep quick revive and then the jug door shut. You're guaranteed 5 perks. I mean 4 perks. So at least you got that going for you. But yeah, no. Not much to say. I think the only thing I would change is the strafing zombies in the original version. Take out the strafing zombies and maybe make monkey rounds a lot easier to read. Like, they only go for 1 perk at a time, because them splitting off and getting all different multiple perks at different times really gets annoying. And finally, Shangri-La is a good map. It is not fantastic, but it is not, terrible. I just feel like it is middle of the road, and the Chronicles version is the exact same. I actually think the Chronicle version is worse because it actually doesn't have PhD Flopper, which I think was one of the main draws of the original version. But yeah. Now finally, we're on Cold War. I think I'm going to rapid fire this because this video's gone on long enough, so we need to get this done. Alright, Outbreak could be better. Firebase Z could be better, and Forsaken could be better. I'm saying all those could be better because they were fun concepts. They were really fun concepts, in my opinion. Forsaken, it was this whole grandiose map, but at that point it was just a remix of a previous map, and it didn't even expand too much. The Wonder Weapon, the Crystal Axe, is actually probably my favorite Wonder Weapon from this game. Maybe Mallow's is better, but I like the concept of it. But apart from that, this map is so basic. Firebase Z as well, similar story. The Ray K is super uninventive. It's not amazing. It's not bad though, so it's just middle of the road. And then Outbreak, being a fun concept, really did decent, but I feel like objective-based zombies has never worked. It is, however, the best version between infection and all of Vanguard. I do think it is probably the best version of a round of objective-based zombies we've gotten. Next, we have D Machina. D Machina, I'm gonna put in. I'm gonna give it some credit. It is good, and this is because of what we came off of in Black Ops 4 between TOG, Alpha, and Voyage, and Blood. Everything we came off of, a lot of people shit on. D Machina was this fresh breath of air. Yes, Oct.2022 is the building ground of it, but I think Mr. T. Lexify put it best when he said, it feels like Noct. It doesn't feel like Noct. There was so much more to the map. Yes, Noct is a centerpiece, but usually people don't care about the centerpiece. They usually care what's on the plate in front of them. Yes, the centerpiece is cool to look at. Yes, the centerpiece is the attention grabber, but it's not what you're going to probably be focusing on most when it comes to everything. So, this brings us to the final map. Save the best for last. Malor, Der Toten. I love Malor. It is a perfect map. It is in the top 10. Now, I'm looking at it, and I'm actually one short. I can't remember what I put in the top 10. I said there was a few fringe top 10s that I'd probably put, and just to kind of almost consistent everything, it looks like, I'm probably going to take Ancient Evil, but nah, we're gonna put no, let's take Spaceland. This is just because I want to fill out the top layer, get the top 10 fully done. I'm just gonna say that Spaceland deserves to be in the top 10. Malor, on the other hand, I love the whole Berlin setting of the map. Amazing. The Wonder Weapon, one of my favorite. I love the whole idea of the map that you're actually fighting for the villains, fighting a villain. The enemy of our enemy is our friend, which I don't know what that means. I don't know. It just came to me. But I think that this map is handled so well. The bosses on the map do get a bit much, especially during the Halloween event. You have mimics added to already, the Manglers, the Panzers, and the Tempest, and the Disciples. My brain, it hurts sometimes, but I do think that this map is really fucking good. So there we go. That is my tier list of 74 maps. Now, obviously, take out 12 of those, so we're down to 62 maps that I've officially ranked. But I do think this is a decent tier list. It is a long ass video. I feel like a good, solid, nice recording. But yeah, alright. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.